There comes a time when everyone is challenged, and it's up to you to decide what's going to happen next. Now, those challenges might be obstacles that a person deals with, or it might be something that we deal with on a daily basis. I'm going to tell you a story that's been challenging for me and an obstacle that I've been trying to overcome for the past few years. It all started my junior year. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. For this video, as you can tell by the intro, I'm gonna get a little deep on this one. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while now, and I feel like I'm at the right time in my life to put something out like this to hopefully help someone out there who's dealing with something, like I said, a challenge or an obstacle. This story is about my scars on my face, and I'm going to kind of explain how everything started with that. It started my end of my junior year going into my senior year. So I played football all 4 years at SoCal High. Go Knights. And there was this helmet, right? At the beginning of summer, you have like conditioning, and after a few weeks, you get your equipment, your pads and your helmet. And as you can see here, this is the helmet that I picked out. I wanted this helmet specifically because it had like detail on it, had certain cuts, and it's just like it looked like a cool helmet to me. And years before that, I would almost consider it looked like an oval. It didn't look beautiful to me. It didn't look sexy to me. So I was like, nah, I'm not picking that. But luckily for me, this helmet that I picked out was the last one they had. So when I picked the helmet, I put it on, and it was super snug. But you can adjust the padding inside, and they'll take air out. And even when they took the air out, it was still kind of tight. And I remember it's clear the coach was like, "Hey, you sure you want this helmet?" I'm like, "No, yeah, I want this helmet." So they're all right. You're a senior, you get first priority over the juniors. So I picked my helmet. I rocked with it, and I didn't really have any acne before that. But as I was playing that summer, I started getting acne for the first time, and it was something new for me. And as I was rocking that helmet throughout that whole summer, double days, just conditioning, hitting drills, whatever, I was breaking out, and the padding was so tight on my face, it was just creating scar tissue. I just left me scars. And I didn't realize it until one day my buddies of mine, my two close friends, they walked up to my pops and they picked me up. We were all close, everybody was close, and they told me they would call my dad Senior because we had the same first name. And they were like, "Senior, David, I think you need to take David to the dermatologist." And I had never been to the dermatologist. And at the time, I thought, once they said that, I was like, what? I was like, man, I gotta get checked out, because I started noticing like my face started looking different. And at the time, I thought I had staph infection on my face. I had never people get staph on their elbows because they get cuts on the field, on the turf field, and infections, or their legs. But I thought I had it on my face just because it looked so weird, and none of my friends had scarring. I had never seen that. So I go to the doctors. And I go to the dermatologist, and I bring that up, and the doctor not laughed, but he was like, "No, that's not staph. You're good with that. It's just scars. You have scars, unfortunately. There's nothing much we can do. We can provide you acne medication to reduce the acne." And I was like, okay. And it's that moment, like my senior year. Your senior year, you want to feel all hype, and you're feeling good, and you're still in high school, so there's still like this insecurities. And now I'm about to start my senior year with scars on my face, and it was the worst feeling ever. Like I remember, I would rock a hoodie in class. I would try to avoid like big groups. I would stay with my circle, and I noticed that my personality was changing, but I still had football that season, and we had brothers and family that I felt like close with, and I felt safe. But once that ended, it was kind of like I didn't have football to lean on anymore. It was just me, myself, and I, and that was it. And I had a few incidents with students. Would not walk up to me, but they'd be like, "Hey, why'd your face look like that?" you know, and I had a pretty hard shell, and I wouldn't let that kind of stuff get to me, and I would explain to them, but you know, it would hurt, right? Like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with, like, you know, asking someone like, what's wrong with your face? It sucked to hear that. And you know, that was kind of like my experience my senior year, and I didn't want to go out. My parents would go to parties, I would stay home. You know, I wanted to go out, but I just couldn't push myself to do it. I didn't want to get judged. And you know, after I graduated, I got a nice summer job at Zelda's. And you know, right there, you're constantly greeting people. You know, I was a busser, and I was like running into a bunch of new faces every single day, and it was so embarrassing. And I would see little kids look at me, you know, and I would let it get to me. I would really let it get to me. But luckily, like I said, I had my close group of friends who rocked with me, and they were honest with me, and I was honest with them, and they motivated me, and they helped me out, and they would encourage me to get dressed and go out, and I did. And, you know, so going into my Cabrillo, you know, I was something new. Cabrillo College, once again, I was new, and I was super scared, and like I was thinking people were going to judge me in class, but I noticed that people didn't really care about that anymore. You know, it wasn't the same like high school. You know, I didn't really get that much stares. I would get stares here and there, but I was accepting it more. But it was still challenging for me. I was at Cabrillo College for 4 years. You know, and along those years, I grew, right? I grew, and I understood that I was doing that. I was trying to buy all the acne products I could. I forgot to mention that. You know, I had my dad buying Proactive back when everything was starting. You know, thinking I was gonna work, but it didn't. Maybe it's worked for other people. It didn't work for me. You know, I was trying to get rid of scars with like clay mask, you know, from Whole Foods, and I was doing everything I could, and just would not go away. You know, so once I found my own skin routine, and I realized like, hey, you know what? Unless you get laser surgery, and I have gone to the doctors and talked about that, it's gonna be on your face forever. And I've accepted that. You know, but that's something that it's taken me years to accept that. And even going to San Jose State, right? Once again, new people, new faces, new setting. You know, are people gonna accept me? Are people gonna judge me? Like, that was always something in the back of my mind, like stepping into a new room, meeting new people. You know, when you meet somebody, you don't get to meet their personality first right off the bat. You see someone from their, you know, physical appearance. You know, and I always had these like thoughts in my mind, like, man, what are these people thinking about me? You know, they did not want to talk to me because of my scars, or what? And that was my thought process. And thank God I was able to kind of get away from that and finally let that go. And you know, after all these years, I can confidently go to the store with family and friends, go on a date with my girlfriend, not worry about what people think or if people look at me. It's something that I've let go and I've accepted. And I wanted to make this video because a lot of us deal with these insecurities, and sometimes it's hard to talk about it, and even with loved ones, you know. And I want to let you know that you're not alone. You're gonna get through this. I got through it. You know, you have a friend here. If you ever want to talk about anything, hit me up, drop that comment. Let me know what you overcome, or let me know what you're still overcoming. Whether it's anxiety, depression, you know, sometimes people deal with financial problems. You know, that's something you can carry. It's hard and it's tough. You know, we're taught to be and look a certain way because of social media, and when we're not that perfect picture, there's all these doubts run through our mind. But you know, hopefully you can take something from this, and I hope this helps someone out there. And you know, like I said in the last video and the one before that, we're gonna keep these videos coming, no doubt about it. Adios, peace out.